All right, chat. I've been asked to rank the raids on the tier list from S to Z, which is great, amazing, to absolute terrible dog shit. I've never seen Z as a rating before, but this should be quite entertaining. So this is going to be D1 and D2 raids. Vow is not on here, but we'll throw it in there. I'm just going to share my personal experience with the raid and why I rate them at a certain standard, going off of helping people or a personal experience from the raid or just loot wise, and just go from there. So why don't we start with this terrible raid right here. Eater of Worlds, complete dog shit. Hated the dung beetle armor. Hated getting error coded out of Prestige World's First. And I just didn't like the mechanics. But one of the coolest raid boss entrances you could possibly ask for. I don't know if it's beaten Crota, but it's there. But I just despise this raid. So which one are we gonna pick next? We're gonna go with Crota. Now, me personally, I wasn't really a big Crota player. I didn't really start grinding this game until King's Fall. But I feel like Crota, we're gonna keep it here for now. Keep it in the D mark. The reason why, it was fun to solo and it was fun to like run through the lamps. But you know, the 1390 version, the Oversoul, it was kind of tough. And the first time I learned Sword Bearer in D1, I told people, everyone's got a Gallahorn on, right? And they're like, yeah, of course. One guy didn't. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to pick up the sword. We're going to take this nice and slow. 3, 2, 1, shoot. And I seen rockets fly by Crota, tracking rockets. And I got the old bonk right on the head. I got killed. And I'm like, how'd you guys miss a tracking rocket? I got killed. Can we do that again? We run it back. Phase 2. Here we go. Second try. I'm like, hey, 3, 2, 1, shoot. 2 people missed. Clyde dies again. I get blamed for it. Hey, are you sure you know how to run the sword? Are you sure you know how to run the sword here? I'm like, hey, I got my Blink Hunter on. I'm ready to stab him and sword this guy and give him the sauce. They're blaming me. I'm like, dude, it's tough out here. Ended up looking up the loadouts and yeah, only one guy had on Gallahorn. The other guys lied. It's tough. But yeah, you know, I might move that one up. This list is going to be a lot easier once I get the other ones up. So let's just jump straight to the SO Alpha Omega tier real quick. Wrath of the Machine, S tier. I don't care what anybody says. This raid launched. Everybody had fun. It was amazing. Me and my team actually made it to the boss, Axis, and guess what? Here comes the Shanks. The Shanks one-shot you, and I look at my fire team and I go, we might be in trouble. S tier Wrath of the Machine. This is the most fun raid you will ever have fun with. I can turn on D1 right now and run this raid, and it's especially a fun low man. Low man's in this was very fun. It's 3-man, 2-man. I mean, it was something. Can't really wait until this raid. If it gets leveled up into D2 and they remake it, it's actually going to be pretty amazing. Boss fight was amazing. The challenges were fun. I think this is amazing. I never did the solo because I didn't want to do the rocket glitch swap, and then when you did do the swap, like, your camera angle was jacked. But this raid right here has always been very special to me. I did a lot of helps with it, met a lot of cool people. Oh man, I'm getting to these S tiers and I'm trying to like S tier it to the top, like my favorites, and this is going to be tough here. So yeah, we're going with King's Fall as well. King's Fall to me is S tier. The reason why, it's very enjoyable for me. Everybody hated it. It was a very mechanical heavy raid and everyone was afraid of it. Let me tell you why. Not only could you have struggled through the entrance of King's Fall, but when you get to the jump puzzle, it's a little tough. But hey, we used to sword fly across and pull the team. But hey, some people needed those chests. They needed the extra loot, so we had to get that loot for them. When you get the totems and you tell your teammates, hey, did you get your knight down there? Yeah, Clyde, I got the knight. I'd run down to that plate. I'd be running around in circles on the plate, chat, with an armor of light bubble hiding from 3 boomer knights because these motherfuckers didn't know how to snipe their shit. And not only that, I got thralls crawling up my ass, and I got 2 boomer knights on their way down to kick my ass. It was tough. It was really tough. And then someone would run down to the plate with the buff still, and we wouldn't be able to pass it. We'd have to run to the center and panic, and oh no. And then you come up to the top to discharge your buff, and there's 2 wizards up. It's like, guys, right wizard, left wizard. It was tough, okay? So not only did you, if you wiped the totems, you know it was going to be a long raid. You get to the war priest. Here comes DPS check. Hey, does anyone know how to hold the buff? Does anyone know how to do it? No. I just know how to shoot ads. Well, okay. So the most experienced player has to hold the buff. Ah, yes, got it. So when we're sitting there trying to shoot the ads to extend DPS, your teammates are standing there shooting the ads. So, bro, what are you doing? Those are mine. It was, you know. And then you get the Gorgoroth, and guess what? You're LFGing for a 6 because someone dropped out by then. It's a wrap. Great raid, though. Love the dick wall jump puzzle. I can't make every raid S tier. But it's very tough for me to not do this. But I mean, you got to put Last Wish on S tier, right? It was the most monumental day 1 raid. I mean, 2 teams finished, almost 3, but you know, poor math class. But you know, tier 1 redeem. You know, I got my ass whooped in this raid. I literally, you know, we got checked at Morgoth. I understood the vault though, but it was just tough, you know. But doing this on the first weekend was something. I mean, the boss fight was insane. Shooting eyes was insane. I mean, this raid really put a fear of God in you. Like it was pretty intense. People from chat did not want to come in and do it. They were so scared. They didn't want to learn eyes. They were just like, I can't. These teams, everyone's struggling. I don't want to do it. People were just like, oh my God, freaking out. And I got scalded for teaching people eyes. Like the first 2 weeks, I was trying to teach people eyes, and everyone's like, Clyde, just do the rocket strat. Just do the rocket strat. I'm like, okay, put on a rocket and merciless and go shoot Riven in her face with 6 people on one side on console. And when this happens, you would go down to 10 frames per second, and someone would shoot an eyeball, and you'd wipe anyway. I could actually do eye shooting faster teaching. Chat didn't believe me, so it's a little tough. But again, Last Wish is always one of those raids that I can launch into and do it. I feel like more raids need to be like Last Wish. I'm par with the difficulty, but unfortunately, since contest is here, those raids will never be that much difficult again, which I understand why Bungie did that. More people are participating on day 1 raids, so I'm glad that's a thing. So it's a dub. A tier for Spire Stars. Spire Stars was huge for me. A lot of people didn't like this raid. Monumental actually was one of my best day 1 finishes. I was at 34 or 36. I choked to 8 finish, but that's fine. But what was unique about this raid was 3 of my fire team members 10 minutes before launch, they couldn't raid. 2 of them had personal stuff come up and 1 lost internet. I had to pull 3 people from chat, and we burned through it pretty well. We figured out the mechanics. It was really fun. Phase 1 was nuts. Boss was amazing underleveled, but man, it was so unforgiving if you messed up on the boss. We got destroyed. But it was like my first raid where like I had an audience and people were watching me day 1 raid, and like I kind of like, actually it wasn't the first one. That would be Leviathan, but you know, like it was like the vibe. You know, we messed up on the boss. It was GG. But what was fun about it is that we were back in the Timmy room in the top left-hand corner, and I was throwing the ball, melting pointing, 180, rocket, golden guns hit, ran into the room, bang, 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 you know, rocket behind a barricade. We were getting this boss under half, 1 damage phase, and everyone in chat's like, oh my God, you guys are cooking him. It's going to be an amazing kill. Guess what? We took him to 0 health, and I'm like, oh, there's balls out there. We should go run out and grab those. I'm like, is it safe? And everyone's like, yeah. We run out, pick up the orb, get hit by rockets, and we wipe. That happened 3 times. We got wiped to those rockets 3 times. Still got the dub though, but it was a fun raid. A lot of people didn't like it. Again, mechanical raids always get mixed reviews. People don't like mechanical raids. They want just pure DPS raids, and it's like, to me, it's kind of like Resident Sleeper. Like, it's boring. But again, I think Spire Stars deserves that spot just because it was very, very rewarding for beating encounters. And it was fun to do. I had a lot of fun with it. Man, now we're getting tough. Now it's getting tough. Good old Garden. I'm putting it, it's going for an E. I don't like Garden. I like Crota more than Garden, so I had to put it right underneath it. I just say Garden was just, it's tough, man. Garden was just, it was so painful to wipe in the first encounter. It was so painful to wipe in that first encounter. The second encounter, no one wanted to communicate. People would just let stuff sacrifice. It was pain, man. Third encounter, you know, people inside, outside, people weren't shooting their... Again, it was very mechanical heavy, but it just was not there. All three of those first encounters were amazing. Divinity Quest, amazing. But then we get to the boss and, you know, but it just, I don't know, man. It was so buggy. It was so laggy. I remember trying to help people on console to get divinities. Platforms didn't rebuild. Moats wouldn't pick up. Boss wouldn't take damage. It was just very buggy, and I just didn't enjoy it. I felt like it was very punishing on day one. Touching the lake, trying to rebuild, like you literally could not learn the mechanic. You could not rebuild platforms, because if you tried to, you just take an L. And if you did, you'd have to pop a, you know, like a rift or something, like maybe a well, or maybe above, like, or you had to use Risk Runner. Like there was just something that you had to do. You know, there was something you had to do just to rebuild, and it was very, very annoying. I didn't enjoy the raid. I've done a lot of div runs. I've done a lot of helps on this raid. But it's just, to me, it's just one of those like I just didn't enjoy it. I'd rather do Crota. That's why I put it there. I'd rather do Crota all day. At least Crota, you can like sword fly and have fun. But again, this is just my personal review on raids and why. So I'm trying to make this as fun as I possibly can. Man, this mother... I'm gonna give Crown a C. The entrance sucked, but man, it was fun to use Thunderlord. Thunderlord on Crown was so much fun at that entrance. I really enjoyed it. And again, the entrance took discipline. Everybody was scared of the jump puzzle. They'd alt F4 through the flawless. It was so easy to do, chat. You literally just do two groups. 2 people go left, 2 people go right, 2 people stay at the beginning and wait. But people wanted to make it complicated. That jump puzzle was funny though. Like that's where like, after you get through the first encounter, you're like, oh my God, it's so boring. You'd go through the jump puzzle and you just laugh, because people would be like, I'd be like, hey, you guys know what you're doing? Yeah, we know. And then people just fall off the map. It was funny. Poor hunters would get buff. You know, you'd see a hunter just try and jump and they get bonked on the head and they fall, or the warlock go for the jump and it just, you know how you try and jump up with a warlock, but you jump straight and then you're just like, oh, I'm done. It was a wrap. That was funny. You know, Titans wouldn't have line rampants on. It'd be phase 1 though, man. The fact that you had to punch that guy to break his shield on day 1, it was just... I literally felt like I was getting Mortal Kombat fatality every time, Baraka style. Like I'd go punch him and he'd shit on me. And I'm like, it was so unforgiving. Why didn't we know the Anarchy strat on day 1? Anarchy was, oh, we couldn't have it though. We couldn't have all the nice things. But you know what I mean, man. The boss fight was cool, man. Hands up in the air, you know, you shoot him down. That was when it was Luna Wells though, so it was just auto loading, you know, spam mountaintop, yay, bing bing bing. I did a bank shot bubble kill on that boss. I put a bubble in front of the boss and we literally bounced shots off. But yeah, it was a fun raid, so I'm gonna give it a C. This is tough now. This is tough. It's getting real tough, because I don't want to give these raids the wrong... like, vote. I'm putting Leviathan at A. It was the first D2 raid. It was our only hard mode raid that we've ever had in Destiny. It's the only hard mode raid we've ever had in Destiny 2. It's fair. If you go back to prestige mode, every single encounter had a different mechanic, just like D1 raids did. That was technically as a D1 hard mode raid, you know? The funny thing is that we beat this day 1. And my buddy Justin had a newborn on his lap the whole time. He did the throne world, the throne room with a baby in his lap the whole time. It's when they started the symbol mechanic. It was huge. The symbol mechanic was huge. I mean, that's when it all started. And again, the prestige mode of Leviathan, it's scaled with your power. It actually took skill. Now the boss was a pushover once you figured it out, but I remember killing this guy with a cupbearer blue rocket launcher on PC, which, by the way, you know, if you're going by technical Terry raid report Ronald's, we actually finished the PC Leviathan first. So I always tell people like, yeah, go check my raid report. But I think Leviathan was just was a solid one, man. I don't care what anybody says. Leviathan was solid. Every encounter was kind of dope. But yeah, overall good raid. We're getting tough now, man. See, I really enjoy these raids in Destiny, so it's like it's really hard for me to. I might change some rankings last minute, but Scourge is tough for me. I really love Scourge. I really love Scourge. I just don't know where to put it. I don't feel like it's A tier. It's not with those. I'm gonna give it a B. I'm gonna give it a B. It got ran over day one. Day one raid was fun on it, but we lost Discord. I remember that. It was kind of buggy day one too. But I really like the mechanics. I like how it forced you to stay, you know. We know that, you know, ACP was superior. Cup gamers couldn't one phase. That's why they were sitting in the back of the map. They were too scared to go up and DPS underneath the balls of the boss. You know, we were shotgun destroying them. I know that's going to cause a big controversy in the section down below, but the thing is, I'm not giving anybody trouble. You can game however you want, but we actually did a test run one day. We did like 10 different raids. It was all boss checkpoints. We told people right before we start DPS, we're just going to call out 3 random letters, and you have to follow the DPS system. We'd call like PAC, CAP, you know, ACP, you know, whatever. And the people that did cap, they struggled doing different letters. So we always just made it a big meme. Like, cap gamers can't do anything else. They have to do anything that, you know, they're always used to. We'd always give them trouble, but it was fun. It was cool getting people Anarchy as well. When people got Anarchy, they were hyped, and hitting the buttons in the Sparrow section was awesome. So I enjoyed that raid a lot. I couldn't put it up there. I couldn't put it with Leviathan and Spire. It's just not there. VOG. So Vault of Glass, I ran not many times in D1. Not as much as I did in my other raids, but like first time I ran it, I got vexed. Everyone was mad. They were mad. The 390 version, I really enjoyed that one. I think we're gonna just since there is some D1 raids in here, we're gonna count this as the D1 version of VOG. And I think it's fair to put it Crown at a C. I just feel like it was there, you know. It was kind of a resident sleeper. Everyone knows on the D2 version of VOG, you could just stand there the whole time. You could literally stand there the whole time. People can do the first encounter for you. You're clearing the raid is 80% clearing ads, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just chilling, you know. I think you're just chilling there. You're not doing much. Oracles, people could solo the oracles for you. They could do Templar for you. Gorgon puzzle, you got kicked, and Gatekeeper was free. And if you do the mechanics of shooting oracles in the D1 version of VOG, you could just solo all 3, no problem. That's just how I felt. I just feel like the raid's a resident sleeper, helping people through D2 version and D1. I mean, there was long raids I had of D1's version of Vault of Glass. It's just people didn't care, you know. It was just, hey, I'll take ad clear. So it was very tough to help people through this. So I feel like it's a fair rating for it. We got Deepstone Crypt. I really love this raid day one. Atrax was so much fun. It felt so rewarding when you beat him. Deepstone, man, where's it gonna go? Tanix was resident sleeper though, man. It kind of sucked. I really like helping people through Deepstone though. I'm gonna give it a B on par. I'm gonna give it a B. I mean, the lullaby is what gives it a B. Lullaby is what gives it a B. But again, once you beat Atrax, it was just kind of like resident sleeper. I mean, the third encounter was fun, but like fighting Tanix on a surfboard wasn't fun to me. And the ads didn't even hurt you. They don't hurt you. I literally used Dune Marchers, and I just punch one ad and they'd all die, and then you kill the captain. You know, I just feel like it was a fun low man kill, but man, you know, Lullaby was there, and that's why I'm going to put it there with a B. It's just tough to put those raids at an A. It's tough to put those raids up there with like Leviathan and Scourge, and even below the S tier. So like, I feel like that's a fair rating for it. I just feel like Vault of Glass and Crown was a little lower, and Crota was kind of sleeper, and Garden I just hate. This is just a meme down here, by the way, that there's actually a Z, so it's like kind of like funny that it's all the way down here. I could have just taken some tiers off, but we're gonna keep it there. Just keep it in its place, Z, because eaters poop. So where does Vow? Where does Vow of the Disciple land on this list? Where should Vow be with these raids? So Vow is just an iconic story, right? We know that the entrance, some people are like, you know, the entrance kind of boring, but the mechanics are there. The encounters are fun. The symbols are there. The funny call outs for the symbols. Then you got the technical terries wanting everyone to use the Bungie call outs. I'm going to put it at the top with the S tier. I'm going to give Vow an S tier raid. I think VOW should be up there with it. In my opinion, I had fun doing it and I have fun teaching it. I think that VOW is more fun than a Leviathan and a Spire of Stars. And the reason I'm giving it an S is because the boss mechanic. The boss fight is one of a kind. The mechanics are there. Everybody has to do a part. I mean, they're gonna have, like, you can have 2 people kill ads. When Rulk kicks your teammate in the face and they die, it's kind of funny. I watched Reject get booted in the face. So I think it's an S tier raid, and I think they did a great job on it. I think all the mechanics are fun. It's just it's kind of like a boring raid when you run it stacked. Flawless Run was cool. The Low Man's was cool. I think it's an S tier raid. Again, these are just my personal experience. I'm not judging. This whole list is not judged off of innovation and mechanics. I'm just telling you of what I've experienced as someone helping people with raids and playing these raids nonstop, how much I enjoyed them and how I think the Destiny community enjoyed them playing with me. Like the excitement of getting through the raid, the excitement of getting raid loot, the excitement of learning it. Again, S tier. Wrath of the Machine, King's Fall, Last Wish, and Vow of the Disciple. A tier, we got Leviathan and Spire of Stars. B tier is going to be Scourge of the Past and Deepstone Crypt. C tier is Vault of Glass D1 version and Crown of Sorrow. We're going to give Crota a D, Garden an E, and Eater of Worlds is taking the hot Z on the L. I hope you guys enjoyed this rating of Clyde's tier system of D1 and D2 raids, and I'm probably going to do more of these. We'll do like DLCs and other stuff and maybe some more ideas if we get any ideas presented to it. So